Just for the record, we're at 15 minutes for 5 rounds fired.
I know. I lot off the range. Can't fix the weapon until the weight comes. I know.
15 minutes, 35 shots?
Put these shots well in. Let's do it.
I'm ready on the left. Ready on the left. Are we ready on the right?
Go forward, get out of that stand yet. There you go.
Ready on the right. Fire at this time. Rotate your switch from safe to still out. Fire when ready.
Can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Can you go ahead and observe 3 targets next to each other with that optic, please? And tell me when you've had a chance to check out all 3.
Can I sit?
Yes, you can.
Which 3? Any 3?
Any 3 you want, just that they're next to each other. Look at the one. When you can identify the holes in it, look to the next one. Okay. Okay, so you've already swiveled and observed 3 different targets. Okay, thank you.
Do I get to be on a video?
You sure do. The first modification we can do is batch up a large group of targets. As you can see with the new 0 targets we have staged here, we can have many targets per firing point. In this particular arrangements, we have them 2 high, an alpha row and a bravo below, and they're numbered 1 through 6 across the top. This makes it easy for identification uprange. Once we have our target tree arranged, each firing point will have 2 personnel. 1 person shooting, the other person acting as a peer coach. The peer coach needs to be off to the shooter's dominant side so that they can observe the shooter as they're practicing, either dry practice as we're watching right now or live fire as we get ready to go. The role of the shooter, of course, is to obtain a good 0 and to practice their fundamentals. The shot process and the functional elements. The peer coach's job is to observe the shooter as they're shooting and then to observe downrange. In order to observe downrange, the peer coach will have some kind of an optic, either a spotting scope or a set of binoculars, so that they can observe the targets downrange. When available, ideally, your range would also have an experienced coach. An experienced coach is someone that has some kind of formal marksmanship experience. Ideal experience would include formal competitive background or instructional courses such as MMTC, SARMEC, CIROC, and the like. The role of experienced coach is to provide additional knowledge reinforcement to the peer coach and the shooter. After working on a series of dry practice exercise, the shooter's ready to begin firing. Peer coach always will be observing, an experienced coach, if and when available. Experienced coach most likely will have to be observing other shooters up and down the line. As the shooter is firing their string to 0, the peer coach will observe them as they shoot and then either spot shots individually or as the group goes on. By current doctrine, we're normally firing 5-round groups on each target for group and then making adjustments and corrections from there. Notice as we're doing this exercise, everyone is slick or without wearing field gear. This is an administrative exercise. Field gear will be added later, of course, during qualification and other practice exercises, but for routine zeroing, it is not needed. Check Army regulation on range safety to confirm. Notice during this sequence that we are not having to call the line cold after every group. The shooters can continue to fire and practice confirming 0, making corrections as necessary. The peer coach observes the shooter as they're firing checks the target with their optics in between groups or in between shots as needed, and the line continues to run in this fashion.
Go ahead. We're going to be shooting A1. Okay.
As the shooting progresses, the peer coach and the shooter can rotate as needed. Once again, you do not have to stop the line to do any of this. Because you have enough targets posted, you can just choose your target as needed, identifying it to your peer coach. The individual shooter can fire their string. Peer coach can spot and observe as needed. After an extended period of time like this, perhaps 10 or 15 minutes, obviously all the targets will eventually be completely shot up. At that point, you will then have the only ceasefire so that shooters can go down, repair all of their targets. Once everyone's completely repaired their targets, they'll go uprange and begin the sequence again.